This is food for thought, not the opinion of this channel. You make your own decisions. You need to know the truth. No vaccine has been shown to be safe. The world now knows this to be true. Many highly credentialed scientists and clinicians worldwide have been questioning the value of vaccines for years. Big Pharma has mounted an intense effort to continue the fake vaccine narrative that vaccines, by definition, are safe. However, since the rollout of the COVID vaccines and the subsequent unexplained extraordinary rise in excess deaths reported worldwide, there has been a renewed questioning of the therapeutic value of all vaccines, especially those on the childhood schedule of vaccines, which begin with a hepatitis vaccine at birth, which makes no sense. As part of the renewed interest in the safety of vaccines, it was discovered that no currently employed vaccine has ever been properly tested for safety against a saline placebo control, which is universally accepted as the gold standard for safety testing. No vaccine has ever been tested to show the injection does not cause autism, which is now at pandemic levels. It has long been suspected that the excipients in the vaccines, including aluminium adjuvants and mercury-containing preservatives, may have contributed to autism and other neurological conditions. But in testing the vaccines for safety, the pharmaceutical industry often used the suspected toxic excipients as the control. So it is no wonder that the safety tests did not show any significant difference between the vaccine and the control injection of suspected toxic components. Now, the drug regulatory agencies know what constitutes a scientifically valid and true placebo-controlled, double-blind, and randomized trial is. They are not stupid. Yet our drug regulator, the Australian Therapeutic Goods Administration, TGA, continues to dismiss the importance of conducting proper placebo-controlled safety trials on vaccines. To his credit, Australian Senator Alec Antic grilled TGA staff in Senate estimates yesterday and asked the all-important question, have any vaccines been tested against proper placebo in trials to determine safety? In my opinion, this response represents intellectual dishonesty, otherwise commonly referred to as bullshit. This is shocking. I will explain. All therapeutic agents, all of them, have adverse effects. It then boils down to assessing the risk and benefits of each drug or vaccine. If the risks outweigh the benefits, then what you have is a failed drug. In order to determine the risk-benefit ratio, one must know both sides of the equation, the risks and benefits. That would seem to be self-evident even to the most intellectually challenged individual. Because no vaccine has ever been compared against true placebo, to determine risk, it is impossible to say the benefit of any vaccine outweighs the risk because the risk is unknown. This is a brainless and desperate argument mounted by scientists and clinicians who should know better. The TGA try to argue that because vaccines are presumed safe, it would be unethical to compare a vaccine with a true placebo to determine safety. This is the strategy Big Pharma and the TGA are using to argue against proper safety studies. What a joke. But I'm not laughing. This was the same argument for not conducting proper safety studies with the COVID vaccines. We now know the COVID vaccines were not safe, and conducting proper placebo-controlled randomized trials for a significant period would have shown that fact and saved maybe millions of lives. Indeed, in the case of the COVID vaccines, even the benefit was unknown because the diagnosis was done by an inappropriate PCR test, and the number of lives saved was not based on actual data, but modeled using outrageous creative assumptions which defied all that we now know. It is one thing for Big Pharma to deceive us and cause massive harm, but it is a totally different thing when our own drug regulator defends the indefensible. Thanks for watching. Stay informed by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Stay tuned for more of You Need to Know the Truth.